Let's go into the I guess we could call it the main event, couldn't we? If these are structured as like actual cards.
Well, then someone booked this wrong.
Well, it's the July set
This
22nd.
this is like the Madison Square Garden end of the night match
Yeah,
after everything
draw.
important happened.
Well, it's the 26th of July from Atlantic City, and well, it's the first teaming up of the Mega Bucks here, people.
Mega Bucks.
Oh yeah,
Ted
I didn't
DiBiase,
even think of that.
Ted DiBiase and Andre the Giant, taking on Baron Scicluna and Jerry Valiant. Now I don't have a particularly long Andre bio here because I figure we know quite a bit about Andre, but do you want to take it away with the Baron stuff first, Kelly?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so Scicluna was actually really from Malta, and actually that I've been to Malta. It's a beautiful country. He debuted in 1953 and wrestled pretty much, his first dozen years up to 1965. It looked like exclusively in Toronto, in Canada, and was a baby face. At least right at the beginning, Mike Valentino, he was billed as. Definitely like a heartthrob type. There is one picture online I found of him. I mean, it's even a stretch for Scicluna to be a heartthrob in the picture, but he's trying for sure. He wrestled in Calgary, Stampede during that era too, and then he got the big call to New York in 1965. There wasn't much information on why he was chosen, but he was brought in as a feud opponent for Bruno, which at the time would have been, right up there with NWA title runs or programs as like the best run in the business. And he was pushed hard. He actually pinned Bruno in a TV tag team match leading up. Yeah, apparently.
Baron
Which at the time was
pinned Bruno.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't totally rare. San Martino sometimes ate a pinfall loss in TV tags just to give them like some believability that this guy might actually win, right? Because of course Bruno never lost legit otherwise. So they had two big matches at MSG, January 24th, 66, which drew 12,345, and February 21st, 66 drew 14,303. And from what I gather in this era, those are pretty good numbers. So yeah, he got two matches out of Bruno, and actually never left the territory. I'm not sure why, because most guys, were just there for 5-6 months and then went on to the next spot. He eventually had a tag run with someone named Smasher Sloan, who really there wasn't much info at all. But anyways, they had held what was known as the U.S. tag team titles. They were the tag straps in the territory at that time, dating back to the late 50s. The U.S. tag titles. Yeah, big time. A lot of memorable, notable teams held the U.S. tag titles. The Graham brothers, Mark Lewin and Don Curtis, the Kangaroos. This great tag team, I wish I could have saw. Gorilla Monsoon and Killer Kowalski, early 60s. And they beat Johnny Valentine and Antonio Pugiles, who is also Tony Parisi. And I'm kind of confused on how they go back, or how he went back and forth with that name. Johnny, do you know maybe?
Oh God, I just know I didn't even know it was the same two guys.
They were apparently the same guy with, for some
same
reason,
guy,
switching.
man. Sorry.
Anyway, and in that match, it was they won the match because Johnny Valentine turned on Pugiles, and caused that's how the match ended. So it was a heel turn Valentine match. And then Scicluna also worked in Australia in '68 and held their version of the world title. And Australia in the late 60s or during the 60s was actually a real hot territory. It was known as WCW.
That was Jim Barnett, right, down there?
Yeah, Barnett, yeah.
Oh, my boy.
Yeah. So
going to take you to a land down under.
Yeah.
My boy.
Patterson, I wonder if he did a tour of Australia. So he held the top strap in Australia in '68, and then in '72, him and King Curtis Iakea held the tag titles, the WWF tag straps, beating kind of a strange team, Karl Gotch and Rene Goulet. Seems weird that Karl Gotch was ever in New York City.
Oh, well, he Moose Monroe put him over, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yes. He must.
Moose.
Yeah, but Karl Gotch, I don't know, he seemed like someone who was too serious for New York or something like that. I don't know.
No one's too serious. No one's too serious for a paycheck.
That's right. That's right. And then they lost to, as was mentioned earlier, the team of Chief Jay Strongbow and Sonny King. So that was '72, and pretty much after that, it was jobber to the stars duty. And I think, was it mentioned before the angle, or was mentioned somewhere, probably on PWO recently, the angle with Gorilla Monsoon was wrestling Scicluna and Muhammad Ali was at ringside. This was 1976.
Yeah. That was from the TNT show I was watching.
Yeah, and it was on other tapes, early Coliseum tapes, because I saw it when I was very young. So he was the Monsoon's opponent for that match, and then it turned into a angle with Ali, which was leading to the Ali Tonio Inoki fight in Tokyo, which was cross promoted in New York and in a bunch of areas, actually, a bunch of territories. And Scicluna retired in 1983 and died in 2010. And actually, his death actually warranted a brief blurb in Sports Illustrated magazine. Yeah. So did Albano's, actually, around the same time. Probably some writer on the staff, I guess, just a wrestling fan, snuck it in. But kind of random for all the wrestlers that died. Scicluna was the only one to get a bio in.
But I mean, at this point in 1979, Baron pretty much had like 20 years in WF on the clock. I mean, that's pretty. How many guys have a 20-year career in New York?
Since '65, so 14 years, and he was nearing 30 years total in the business.
Wow.
At this point, and it pretty much shows in his wrestling ability at this time.
He actually died in 1980, and he just didn't realize it until 1983.
Well, if you got it, is that it for?
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
For Scicluna. Well, no, I was very, and you know, that's probably the most anybody's talked about him on a podcast ever. So, congratulations for that, Kelly. You had even more to say about him than Larry Madison.
I'll do a thread. I'll make a thread for Scicluna on PWO.
Yes. Please do.
Yes.